you guys will have to deal with this rough overhead car lighting. I ordered like a little like portable ring light thing I'm gonna try out, but it won't be here till later this week. But it's still so dark outside. I just got to work at 7:25 and literally so dark. And it was getting so nice because the past couple weeks it had been like brighter when I was showing up to work, but then this weekend was daylight savings. So now our evenings have light longer, but I don't think the sun's supposed to come up until sometime into 8 o'clock today. Like clearly it's still very dark, and it just is what it is. Summer and spring, they're approaching. I'm ready for it, ready for some warmer weather. It's supposed to get up to 60 degrees today. Right now it's in the 30s, but that's Michigan weather. And then I usually show you guys whatever my daily devotional is. This is the one that I was using from when I started work up until a few weeks ago when I finished it, and then I gifted it to one of my assistants here, one of my coworkers, because she's also a Christian and I thought she would really appreciate it. This is the one that I'm about to start today, so this will give me 50 more days. I just keep this in my car and then I read it before work, so I don't read it every single day. I read it every single work day, so it lasts me a little bit longer than 50 calendar days since I only go to work 4 days a week. And then otherwise I use like the Bible app on my phone, or I got like a study Bible recently, so I'm trying to use that throughout Lent because it's Lent right now. And the other thing I'm doing for Lent is that I am not eating any desserts, sugar, sweet type things. I still have like a little bit of sweetener in my coffee, but I'm not eating chocolate, desserts, sweets like I used to. Like if they're at the office, I just won't partake. Or I was at an event on Friday, an MDA Foundation board meeting through the LEAD program that I'm doing. So like a CE board meeting thing that I got to sit in on, and there was chocolate chip muffins in the morning, and then there was cookies with lunch and cake at the end of the day, and I didn't partake in anything, and it was honestly harder than it should have been. So it's a good, I guess, solidification that this is something that's good for me to do as a challenge, and a challenge that it is. But anyways, it's Monday. Today my schedule is pretty slow. I have patients I think most of the day, but it's a lot of smaller appointments for a couple fillings at a time. I don't think it's any like giant half mouth quadrants, things like that I sometimes have. And then I don't think I have any crowns today, and I have some limited exams, so it should be a very chill day, but hopefully I stay busy enough and it goes by quickly. The other thing I'm gonna do is my follow-ups from January, February. Anybody that still hasn't scheduled and has, I think, a chance of scheduling and, you know, are an established patient here, I am going to give them a call and just check in on how they're doing and see if they're ready to move forward, kind of just as a touch base, reach out. We care about you, we're thinking about you, we don't want this to get any worse, how can I help? Rather than, you need to schedule this bad thing's gonna happen. Not like a scare tactic, but just a follow-up and kind of a continuation of them being here in the first place. And when we made that plan together, even if it's been a month or 2 months, still want to call in and check in with them. So that's the other thing I'm gonna do today if I have any downtime. Alright, I just pulled in, got back from work. It is 5:33 and I'm gonna go inside and heat up some dinner. I did a lot of meal prepping over the weekend because Justin was away on a bachelor trip, so I didn't really have anything else to do other than I was meal prepping, baking, sourdough stuff, of course, and I also was catching up on more of that implant course that I talk about almost every video, it seems, CE. I'm finally going to the course in 2 weeks, so I have 2 more weeks to finish all those modules. There's 37 hours of subject to watch, as well as associated quizzes, so I'm cranking my way through. I'm in the 20s now, finally, so I'm hoping to get to almost like 30 by the weekend, or the end of the weekend, and then just have a couple left to do next week, which is the last full week before I head to the course in Arizona. I'll definitely bring my vlog camera and try to give updates and get any clips that I can throughout the course. Obviously, when I'm like in surgery and things at the course, I can't film just like anything with patients and post it, but I can probably film some of like the training exercises and just overall recap like what we did each day and what I learned, because it's a very good course from what I've heard and very intensive, given that it's 5 days, full long days, 2 or 3 surgery days, I believe. So I'm excited to see what that entails, but for now, that's kind of the end of Monday. As I said, pretty low production, lots of fillings, limited exams, follow-ups and things. My main anchor appointment unfortunately had to cancel because they were sick. So that's several $1,000s that did not get produced, but it is what it is. And then the even more bummer thing is same thing tomorrow. My crown appointment also got sick. It's like flu season right now. So last week we were really short-staffed with our own team and one of the doctors being sick. And then this week we have one person out so far and then patients are canceling. So it's just flu season. It is what it is. And then I'm also taking that week off of work. So I'm assuming this month's going to be kind of downhill when it comes to tracking production for the year. January and February were decent, but I don't think March is going to be that great, but it is what it is. And, you know, it's not all about the money. You're still helping people every single day, and I feel good. We got some kids through some scary appointments for them with some fillings today, and those are always nice when they're positive experiences for them, and that always makes me feel good. As you can see, it's a beautiful sunny after work time. It's about 5:45 right now, and I'm about to go in to the country club in the county that I live in, because that's where the local dental society hosts their CE events. So it's a dinner and CE, and the presentation is about kind of maximizing working with insurance companies, whether that's in or out of network. My specific office is out of network, if you're curious. We still bill out to everyone's insurance, but then the patients get paid directly for the most part is how that works. But I'm interested to see how it goes, and I like to go to these just to really make some connections in the area and expand my network, meet new dentists to learn from. Last time I was here, I sat by the endodontist that we refer to, who I'd never really met before, but it was nice to get to actually meet him in person so I can kind of put a face to the person that we refer everything to. But I'm looking forward to kind of seeing who I can connect with today. Back in the car. It's darker now because it's around 8 o'clock and we just finished up. I got to meet a different endodontist today, the other endodontist that we refer to, and several other female practice owners, and it was really fun. And then the presentation, it was okay. I don't have a lot of remarks to give about it. We do work with a coach at our practice already, so I just feel like a lot of times what we gain from that is a little more valuable than sometimes these individual one-off sessions, just because they can't go as in-depth and it can't be as specific for your office and your team and your patients because they're presenting to a big group. So I don't necessarily get a lot of, you know, clinical leadership communication takeaways from these kind of events. It's more just the personal connections that I enjoy. But overall, a good time. I'm gonna get home. It's about a 30-minute drive for me. I attend this district dental society through the Michigan Dental Association, and there's a bunch of different districts, kind of like little counties, regions throughout the state. So I go to the one for Kalamazoo, which is not that close to where I live, but it's just a bigger area and more dentists. So that's why I chose to kind of participate in this one. And technically it is in the area I live. It's just a little bit of a drive. So back home, get everything ready for another work day tomorrow for Wednesday. Today, Tuesday, was good. We were able to muster up some good patient care, get some good things on the schedule coming up, and then also I was able to convert a limited exam into a crown same day, which was nice because I had that patient cancellation that I mentioned from the patient being out sick. So I had a whole kind of empty, low production morning, but we were able to fill it in with some things, which I was really happy about. And I think tomorrow should be interesting because I'm seeing a little bit more challenging pediatric case, just very questionable, you know, on the prognosis for the teeth. So we're gonna see how it goes. I've come up with kind of plan A, B, and C, and then there's always the next plan of referring if need be. Again, it's just for these kids. We are kind of the only ones that can see them in a timely manner because we're the only ones that take the state Medicaid for kids. So otherwise they're gonna be waiting a super long time, and if they're in pain or infected, you just like can't leave them like that, you know? So you kind of have to do your best with what you can. Or, I mean, obviously they could go somewhere and pay cash, but that's just really not a resource or option for some people. So we do what we can in those cases, and I'm trying to get better every single time so I can help the kids more. It's kind of where I'm at when it comes to pediatrics in our office. All right, we're back in the car. It's 6 p.m. Wednesday now. I just arrived at the gym, so I'm gonna go in to do a lower body workout, and then Justin and I are cooking some pasta for dinner. I didn't film anything at work. Sometimes it just feels like not hard to film, but it just feels like I'm just showing you the same thing. Like, look, a crown, look, the room that you've seen in all the other clips and all the other videos. So I feel like sometimes it's a little more change up to more just tell you like specifically kind of what I did, or if there's any big learning moments or takeaways from the day, which I mean, in reality, of course, there's always learning moments and takeaways from every day. So today, what did we get up to? We had a limited exam, which a limited exam is kind of the same as saying like problem focus, like coming in, broke a tooth, something hurt, something like that. So this was a new patient that we've never seen before for a broken tooth, they said, but they really actually had a bunch of wear, and probably an old filling had popped out in one of the wear facets. So we ended up filling that one as well as 2 others. And then we had a couple little kids for filling. Some of them were more straightforward, so I wasn't anticipating any trouble. And then one kid, these were both like 4-year-olds. He did really well, but we had some pretty big cavities to take care of for him, and he was great through the numbing, and everything went really well. So hopefully everything turns out good for him long term. Even when you're trying to treat those really bigger cavities, it's still just kind of like a finger crosser, and you explain that to the parents, like it might end up needing extraction or something else down the line, but hopefully this can at least prolong the amount of time so that he doesn't need something as kind of traumatic at such a young age, and hopefully not ever, but if it comes down to it when he's like 8 or something, it would be a lot easier to take that tooth out than now at 4. Lots of hygiene exams, some diagnosis for some new treatment that hopefully is going to be coming up in the next couple weeks on my schedule. A couple teenagers for fillings. I had a morning appointment that was kind of my bigger one for the day for a crown and a couple fillings and repairing a partial denture that the lab's gonna do, but I took a pickup impression for it. So that's where you kind of take the PVS impression with the denture in place and then ship all that to the lab. That way they can know what her current arch looks like in addition to having the denture to actually make the adjustments. And yeah, more kiddos. That was pretty much it for me. So lots of kids, lots of teenagers, one kind of higher production appointment, and then just kind of lots of planning, lots of, we call it creation, making new treatments possible for people diagnosing things that they need from when you do those hygiene exams. So that was kind of Wednesday, and tomorrow, Thursday, is our shorter day. So same start time as always, around 7:30 is when I'll get there, but then we're out a little bit closer to like 1:30 typically. I never say like a distinct time because it just kind of depends. It's supposed to be around 1:30 though, and then I have to take this car here in to the dealership because there was a recall on my model, so they need to like adjust something with the electronic system. My car's not having the problem, but the thing said like bring it in anyways because we need to like put the new part so you don't end up having the problem. And I also am gonna see if they can help because my auto start has not been working, and I mean it doesn't matter that much now because it's getting warmer. As you can see, it's so nice and sunny, but I still want it because we're gonna have some cold days still. At Michigan, it's like freezing and then warm and then freezing and then warm kind of all throughout the spring. You can still get snowstorms and crazy things. Plus it has like cooling start too, so you can start it to do AC and stuff in the summer. It's supposed to, but it kind of stopped working, so I need them to help. Either maybe I'm just being technologically challenged, or there's actually something that they need to kind of reset. So we'll see. But that's the outlook for Thursday. I always kind of go to Trader Joe's when I head over to that area because that's the same area that the dealership is. It's kind of far from our house, so I like to make it an errands centric time, and then we'll get more of that course done as well, prepping for that implant course that I'm always talking about. I still have some modules left. Alrighty, it's Thursday. I kind of already told you yesterday what today was gonna entail. I didn't get back from the car dealership Trader Joe's situation until like 5 o'clock, even though I got out of work at 1:30, because they were doing like more like tech, like internal upgrades on my car, updates. So it just takes a long time for all that stuff to like download, but I was able to get through one module of my CE at least. I still have several I want to do tonight before we kind of wind down for the evening. Justin's out golfing, so that kind of forces me to hopefully be productive, and I'm at my desk, which is my productive zone. But the reason I was picking up the camera is because I'm about to open up the file for our proposed mortgage for our construction of our house. So it's very exciting. We're doing like a one fell swoop kind of loan. So it's the construction to permanent loan. That way we're locking in the current interest rate. You never know. Is it gonna be better? Is it gonna be worse in the year that it's built? Who's to say? But there's always the option to refinance if things are dramatically better where refinancing makes sense. But I would rather just lock in at least the opportunity of what's available today. But I'm interested to log on and see what the rates are, because right now the country's economy is a little bit down. So I'm interested to see if the rates are similar to what they proposed to us back in the fall when we got our pre-approval. And this whole time we've been going through back and forth with the designer for the house and the builder. And after all that resolved, about 3 weeks ago, we sent the proposal to the bank. So they officially went through it, and then now are sending us the mortgage kind of initial proposal. And then I think we're just supposed to read it and review it and then decide, do we have any changes to make? Are we good with it? And then if we're good with it, I think they'll send us the official stuff to sign, which is kind of crazy. And then they can fund the house and the house can start being built. But the caveat, our neighborhood does have an HOA and they need to approve the house. And there was another house that went up recently, it's still being finished in the neighborhood, that the HOA is not happy about. So they're a little bit more cautious, I guess you could say. The house is basically set up like too high. They like dug out and built up a bunch of dirt to make a walkout on a lot that's not originally a walkout. So it has a weird incline compared to the neighboring homes. So now the HOA is all stressed about our house because it's gonna be a walkout too, that we're gonna stick out and look weird. But ours, according to my builder, from their expertise, I know nothing, the grade on our lot, supposedly it will be fine and we're not gonna have to raise anything up and bring in a bunch of extra dirt to do that. It should just already slope down enough for that. They're being a little particular. So they have not approved the house yet. We gave it to them about a week ago. So hopefully in the next week or so, though, they will approve it. And then tomorrow I'm going to a showroom for one of the local suppliers that our builder works with to look at some exterior samples for siding, stone, and roofing, just to solidify exactly what we want to do. Originally, we thought we might do like a green shade for the siding, but now I'm kind of back to just, I don't want to hate a color, so I think I'm just going to do like a cream and keep it really simple and just kind of let it seasonally really be decorated by Christmas lights or the flowers in the spring and the porch decor and just like the landscaping and then the fall trees that naturally occur. Like let the house be kind of the canvas for all of that, especially with like 4 seasons in Michigan. So I don't know, I'm gonna go tomorrow. If I get any pictures and stuff, I'll insert it when we talk tomorrow. But let me log on and see what the tea is with this mortgage proposal, because I'm kind of excited, but I'm also kind of like, because I don't know. It's gonna say however much money we need to close and what the rate is, what our monthly payment's gonna be. And things changed a lot from September, again, when we submitted for the pre-approval. So I have no clue if it's gonna be similar to what that was proposing or if it'll be better, if it'll be worse. Obviously, we all want a lower monthly payment, so let's see what it says. Well, you guys, I've been reading this for just about an hour and I still have several pages to go. All of this stuff, it makes you feel like you're in like law school trying to read it and understand it. Thankfully, I mean, the mortgage lender is really nice and helpful, like in my initial process of like figuring out all of the construction loan things and deciding which bank I wanted to go with and figuring out the doctor loan program. But I don't really want to ask him every single question that I'm writing down, just because, I mean, obviously he's the lender, so he has his own bias and interest. I am trying to set up a call with our financial planner just to go over my list of questions. It's not that I don't understand, I think I understand everything, but I want to know that I understand all the terms. And we're kind of like, we don't have to do it, but we kind of have to do it because we already paid a pretty big chunk of money as a deposit with the builder that would be non-refundable if we were to back out now. The monthly payment was a scary big number, but we went into the process thinking this was going to be our build budget, and throughout the planning process, we went up and up and up and up and up to an amount that we were okay with, but what we initially were expecting a monthly payment to be, it is like $1,000 more a month. So that's just like alarming to see on paper, but also we're happy with the choices we made of like what areas to upgrade like structurally and things. I think it just makes a lot of sense, and I know like it's still in the advisable range from our financial planner. It's just not as far on the lower end as he was saying. He kind of gave us a range, and we were trying to be way at the bottom just so we could save more money every month, but now we're more towards the middle, which is fine. And hopefully, you know, my income would keep going up. In theory, we can hope. You know, you just never know, especially whenever I'm taking maternity leave and stuff, because we don't actually get any paid leave. So I'm just taking time off, and we'll be funding our life with our savings and Justin's income, but we'd be without my income for several months, for however long I decide to take off for each child that we have. So that's just something to think about when we're thinking like how much money we bring in every month and how much money can go out every month. We have to think about the time periods when a large chunk of our income is not coming in. So, I mean, we should have enough saved and be prepared and like know when we're planning each kid, and then have the whole pregnancy to prepare and stuff. But it's just interesting, like planning monthly expenses. And right now our rent is fairly affordable for this 3-bedroom place because the area we live is kind of rural, so we can get this large house that we don't use most of it because it's just him and I for a pretty reasonable amount per month, versus the new mortgage is over double that. And then that's like when you're including the required amount we have to put every month for property taxes and homeowners insurance. That was a thing in this document that I didn't expect. Apparently we have to have an escrow fund with the bank that we pay into throughout the process of the loan for the property taxes and the homeowners insurance. And they want to like own and manage and know that that fund is there. That way they know that we're holding up our end of this loan and being reliable people. Otherwise, if we chose to manage it ourselves, we're at a higher risk of them having a problem and having us like say that we're defaulting on the loan, which obviously you don't want. But I had no idea. I thought we just kind of like handled that ourselves, and like we would make our payments because we don't miss payments on anything. But apparently it needs to be like managed by them, and we have to have some separate extra account in addition to like the checking account that they make us have to be doing our mortgage through there and all kinds of stuff. So that's kind of the things I need to ask the financial planner about. I want to make sure I understand like what the escrow thing is all about. The document is flawed. So that's why I read through these, because obviously they have different types of loans. They have like fixed loans and adjustable rate mortgages, and ours is going to be an adjustable rate because that's just what they make you do for the doctor program. And in certain parts it says that it's this many years, and in certain parts it says this many years that the adjustments start. So it's wrong. It needs to be consistent throughout. So that's like why you read for over an hour all of these pages. But someone's got to do it, and that someone is me, because this is my financial responsibility. So fun, adulting. I'm gonna finish reading this and make some dinner, and then if I have the stamina after feeling like an attorney for 2 hours reading all this, I will maybe do some more CE. But we also have all day tomorrow. I have a podcast guest tomorrow. I'm going to that supplier of like outdoor siding, roofing stuff to look at things, and I have a couple errands to run, and then mostly gonna be doing that CE. Fingers crossed we just blow through it and knock it out. It's just so hard to like study now that I'm out of school. I just am not used to it. And with social media these days, I have such a short attention span. Like if I was a consumer watching this video, I would have been on my phone multiple times throughout this video with like me talking in the background. And you might be doing that too. I feel like I can't like intently watch something for that long without needing like extra stimulation, or like to pause it and do something else and come back, which is so bad. That's just like how society has made me. And that's why dentistry is a fun job, because I'm actively doing something the whole time. So I definitely don't get bored. If I had to like do a desk job, I think I would get bored. So dentistry is certainly right for me. But that's Thursday. I'll talk to you all on Friday. Happy Friday. I just got back from running some errands. I had to do my own returns and returns thing for my sister with all this wedding stuff. As I've told you, she's getting married and I'm getting married this year, so lots of things. And she lives out of state, so I do help her with what I can since I'm in Michigan and I'll be like driving to the wedding. I'll just be able to bring more of like, you know, the DIY type things. And I just try to help as much as possible because she's my sis and technically we're each other's maids of honor, but either way I would be, you know, helping as much as I can. And then I also stopped off at that supplier for like roofing, siding things just so I could see some samples in person, and that was really helpful. And then the rest of today I'm gonna be working on that implant CE, and then I have a podcast coming up at 4 o'clock. And Justin and I will make some shrimp tacos for dinner and hang out. And then tomorrow we are doing more wedding things. We're gonna go look at wedding bands and we're gonna go hopefully get his tux picked out from a local shop here. We want it to be the exact same tux, or not exact same, but same specifications as the tux that my future brother-in-law is wearing for their wedding, because they're gonna wear them in each other's weddings because they're both in the groomsmen parties. That way they can kind of double down and use them for both rather than paying for rentals twice. So we're trying to coordinate that even though we're not ordering from the exact same place. So we're trying to like bring the fabric sample and all these photos and say like, can you make it look the same? So we'll see how that goes. And like I said, we'll go look at wedding bands. We also looked at wedding bands a couple weeks back just at some of the more fancy stores like Tiffany's and what was the other one? David Yurman, just to kind of see like these super high price point, like do I feel like the quality is better? Does it feel like it's worth it? Kind of give me an idea of like what I want. I don't think we're gonna order from them, especially with like the style of my ring. It's set up pretty low. So anything for a wedding band that gets layered, you know, below this would either need to be that open shape where right below there's a gap so that it can sit flush, or I'll have to just have a gap, and I'll show you the pictures of the ones with the gap, but I didn't like that. I liked the crisscross design at David Yurman. I'm also posting some stuff for sale on Poshmark right now. I'm just like, it's stuff that's cute and good quality. It just feels a little like young for my current style I go for. I'm just kind of more simple and like could last me many years rather than trendy these days, I'd say. So I'm selling some more of my cute trendy pieces while they're still in style. And I also am gonna take donations tomorrow for things that I just don't think are worth taking the time to sell because they're still fine quality, but nothing groundbreaking. So that's kind of where things are ending off for this video and this vlog. Pretty long. I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of a different style, I guess. More chatty, longer video. Let me know what you guys like, if you like the longer videos, if you like the shorter videos. I'm open to all things, and I will see you in the next one.